The Miracle of Our Lady of Fatima is a Warner-Color feature film made in 1952. It was promoted as a fact-based treatment of the events surrounding the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima in 1917. It stars Susan Whitney as Lúcia Santos, Sherry Jackson as Jacinta Marto, and Sammy as Francisco Marto, with Gilbert Roland as a fictional character named Hugo, a kindly but agnostic friend of the three children, who rediscovered his faith in God through the Solar Miracle of Fatima. The musical score by Max Steiner received an Academy Award nomination. The film was released on DVD on April 4, 2006. Plot: it is 1917, and Portugal is feeling the aftereffects of a storm of anti-religious sentiment and the violent overthrow of the government in the 5th of October 1910 revolution. Churches in Lisbon are boarded up. Many priests, nuns, monks and friars are shown being fingerprinted, photographed and registered as possible criminals before being jailed. The rural town of Fatima is small enough to have escaped much of this persecution. The church remains open, and most of the people are reasonably devout, watching the flocks and playing in a field outside town. On May 15, Lúcia Santos and her cousins Jacinta Marto and Francisco Marto decide to pray the version of the Rosary by yelling out, "Hail Mary," but not finishing the prayer. In the midst of this activity they hear a clap of thunder and see a flash of lightning. Thinking it is about to rain, the children gather the sheep and head for home. Another flash of lightning causes them to run straight into an unusual cloud of light surrounding a little tree on which a lady stands. Speaking slowly and gently, the lady asks them to return on the 13th of each month and to offer the sufferings to God for the salvation of sinners. She entreats them to say the Rosary for world peace. Later, they encounter their agnostic friend Hugo, who tells them it is best not to reveal the vision to anyone else, but of course on returning home, Jacinta immediately divulges her sightings. Jacinta and Francisco's parents believe the story, but Lucia's mother reacts with disgust and subjects her daughter to emotional and physical abuse. She forbids Lucia to return to the cova, but Lucia does so anyway on the next month's appearance, and is told then that her cousins will die and go to heaven soon, while she will live a long life in holy service. The parish priest suggests the visions might be from Satan. The local authorities close the Fatima church until the priests can convince the parishioners that no visions will happen. The next month, on July 13th, the lady appears again, predicting another and worse what will happen if the world doesn't stop sinning. She also predicts evil will come from Russia if that country is unconverted. Kidnapped by provincial administrator Arturo Santos, the children are first offered bribes, then threatened with death if they don't change the story. Trying to frighten them, he has first Jacinta, then Francisco dragged into another room. Jacinta's terrified screams convince Lucia that her cousins are dead, but she refuses to deny what she's seen, warning her that she's about to experience the full treatment. Santos reunites her with her cousins, who are very much alive, then throws them all in jail. There they find Hugo, who stands by them as they convince all the prisoners to join in the Rosary. Unable to find any prosecutable evidence, Arturo frees the children, who find that the entire population of Fatima has been standing outside waiting for them. On October 13th, when the lady promised a sign that will make them believe, about 40,000 people arrive, waiting through a torrential downpour. The lady appears and says that the war will be over soon and the soldiers will be returning to their homes. At precisely noon, the clouds part and the sun shines brightly upon all the people. Then the sun shifts through a rainbow of colors and appears to drop toward the ground, in what many have described as the miracle of the sun. Many people panic, some pray or watch calmly, and a few disabled people are healed. As the sun returns to normal, we see Hugo standing in the middle of the kneeling crowd, his hat still on. Removing it, he says, "Only the fool saith there is no God." A short epilogue, circa 1951, shows the huge basilica where the tree once stood and a million people outside paying homage to Our Lady of Fatima. At the end of the movie, inside the new basilica, Lucia is a nun praying before the tomb where her cousins have buried, with the converted Hugo at her side. Cast: Susan Whitney as Lucia dos Santos, Sherry Jackson as Jacinta Marto, Sammy as Francisco Marto, Gilbert Roland as Hugo da Silva, Angela Clark as Maria Rosa dos Santos, Jay Novello as Antonio dos Santos, Frank Silva as Arturo dos Santos, Richard Hale as Father Ferreira, Norman Rice as Manuel Marto, Francis Morris as Olympia Marto, Carl Militaire as District Magistrate,